What's up, Inkie peeps? It's Adele from Inkie Quill, and it's time for wedding album flip number 4. So this was after the ceremony, and this is basically just a scrapbook of Aaron and I, just all of us. And so we went away with our photographer. Where we got married was a beautiful farmstead, and there was beautiful Australian bushland, and it overlooked mountains, and not mountains but hills, small hills, and so we got our photos done there. And one point I had to jump across a rocky kind of valley. I could have fallen, but I took my shoes off and I was brave and I jumped through the rocks and to get some of the shots. So I hope you enjoyed it. Enjoy it. You haven't watched it yet. I hope you enjoy it, and then we'll be back. There's 2 more to go after this, but I would say this is one of the albums that I love flipping through because the pages are quite not different. Everything, all my pages have a similar vibe to them, and I think it's nice to have a go-to style. But there's some different color combinations in here that I probably wouldn't do today, so it's nice to flip through. This is, I would say, my favorite. Oh, are we going to go favorite? Top 3, definitely top 3 of the entire wedding series. And I don't know what it is, but it's a combination, I think, of the soft pinky purple blue in the background, and then these black splatters, which is not something that I would typically go for, I guess, not with a delicate photo like that. And there's even rabbit hair in there too, and also like some sequins. And yeah, I absolutely love this page. It's definitely one of my faves. Let's open this up. So, give you a bit of a close-up look. It's definitely my go-to. One big photo. Oh, why did we go so bright then? There we go. It's just because of the lighting. Sorry, guys. There we go. It's definitely my go-to thing to off-center a single 4x6 photo and go from there. But I absolutely love it. So there's that one. And then we turn over. There may be process videos for some of these, but if they are, they'll be old Inkie Quill videos. Maybe even before I had my intro, What's Up Scrappy Peeps. It could be that old, when I talked very normally and not like I usually do. I talked in my teacher voice, not in my normal Adele voice. This one was wild with the Hardy Shine. It went crazy. But it worked. I did some modelling paste in the background. I must have only just got this stencil because I did it here and I did it in the previous layout as well. And I love this one too. I really like the matting with the black. I think that it pulls in your eye to the photo because it's got something dark to look at. So there's a bit of a close-up view at all of that modelling paste detail. Oh God, I look so young in these photos, I think. It's before I got the crow's eyes. Is it crow's eyes? Crow's feet, not crow's eyes, crow's feet. So there's that one. This one is a very interesting composition. It's very top heavy with this tiny little bit down the bottom. I must have been experimenting with different formats, I guess. And I like it. It's just not my typical go-to. And sometimes it's nice to flip through your albums and find things that you used to do that you don't do anymore. So lots of embellishments here, lots of resin flowers, which is why this album doesn't have too many layouts, because they're quite chunky ones. So there's that little one. And then over here, this is a double page, and they're very similar. There's a process video for one of them, and this was when I'm pretty sure I had 2 packets of the Craft Market crepe paper embellishments, and I wanted to use them up, so I just went mad and stuck them everywhere. And I kind of liked this crazy kind of just thrown on embellishment style, and I do still really love that style. It's something I might try again very soon. And then some more black splatters. Oh wow, that's bright. I'm really sorry about the lighting, guys. I can't take every page out of the page protectors because otherwise we'll be here all day long. I just bought these paper clips and I did lots and lots of paper layers as well. And here, it's funny, this was before I discovered tissue paper, and I've matted my photo with vellum, which is a very similar kind of look. So you can see, oh, here's tissue paper. This is blue tissue paper. Oh, so here's this one. And this just had a lot of fun. I think I was trying to use up some hip kits at this point and trying to do a bit of a killer kit. This just sums up our relationship. Aaron laughing at silliness and me pulling a stupid face. Trying to use up some frames, because I struggle with frames. I've changed cameras, so this is actually the vlog camera, and there's a different setting, and I don't know how I got onto it, but I really do apologise about the light. I might need to cut different parts. We'll see how we go. Then this one was something different for me. So this was my first kind of go at brush lettering on a layout, and I used watercolour paper, which really was a giant waste of watercolour paper. It was way before I found Basil Marshmallow, and this is me walking along one of the rocky platforms that I went on. And it's a similar kind of format to this one, but kind of flipped and with a big title. So I decided to go for the blues on this one. Use some DIY flares as well. There's 5 of them on the one page. And look, giant tissue paper ruffle. So I know that a lot of the time I do use some of the same techniques and the same colours and things, but when you find things that you love and that make you happy, you stick to them. And it's nice to experiment with other things, but it's also nice to not feel like you have to change just because you have to change if you really love something. So this one was probably one of my first ever layouts, I think, because there's no mixed media in it, and I remember all I had was the open book 12 by 12 paper pad and these gold thickers. So that makes me think it's one of my earlier ones. So I just layered up a whole heap of things, tucked in some embellishments off the side, and I also, this lighting is going to drive me nuts. So here, it's just a nice simple page, I guess you could say, and I love the double matting as well. This one is definitely one of my first ones. I remember making this one. I do. Just very basic, but I love it. Even though it's got no mixed media on it, I really do love it. And it's still got the things that are very inky. You know, there's the enamel dots, there's little wooden hearts, there's gold thickers, there's doilies. It's still very me. It's just a little bit more naked and doesn't have as many embellishments or painty splats. But it still works. And this is when I was trying to, I was copying someone on 2 Peas in a Bucket, I can't remember who it was, just stressing the edges of their paper. So you can see I've just taken my scissors and kind of ripped along the edges of the paper there and there. This one, I'm pretty sure there is a process video for on YouTube, and I loved the book page that I used. And look at this. Does anyone else have the same problem with flare? Look at this flare. Completely rusty. No. I'm going to have to pull that off and figure out something to do with it, because yeah, it's just not working. But here, I think it's interesting, all of these items are kind of a similar shape and size. They're all like kind of big and chunky. There's not a lot of little sprinkly bits like I now do. This was also, I think, using up a hip kit, because I remember that sticker and these thickers that just seemed to multiply as I was using them. And I've obviously just gotten some black India ink with these layouts, because there's a lot of splattering, but I love this one as well. Then this one, I think there's a process video for this. I think, possibly. It seems familiar. I just hand cut out the word love and standard Adele, bit of red nail polish marked on the paper. Do I care? Nope, I'm going to keep going. I love these stickers too. They lasted a while, and I just did a bit of a flag thing down the bottom. There's one that's kind of gone a little bit sideways that I might have to fix up, but I do love this layout a lot. I like connecting 4x6 photos to make one giant one. I think it's a really easy way to do something different with your photos without having to cut them up. Then we've got a design G in the pocket page, and there's not much to show here except for this little piece of embellishing down there. And I think, oh, there's an overlay over this one. I just kind of felt like it didn't need too much. And then on this side we've got an overlay here. I love that photo. Thank goodness I painted my toenails. And these are the boutonnieres that I made for the boys. And then again, using, I had so many packs of these thick, I still do. I think I still have 2 of them, possibly, maybe 1.5. And then a little filler card here. And then a photo of us just walking back. My legs are the same color as my dress. Very, very white. And then here, this was something different, a bit of a diagonal, definitely something I want to try again. It's funny when you look back and think of things that you would just never think of these days. Yeah, it's just funny. Lots of wood veneer I was trying to use up, and some little enamel dots. There's a very, very chunky bow in there. And I love the way this little cluster of all the little embellishment looks, and the little man and woman. I love that one. And then I love things on the diagonal. I think it's really pleasant for the eye to look at, because it kind of leads you down to look at the photo. And then over here, I think, was this part of Get Kitted? Possibly, or not. Maybe it wasn't. But this is just a really easy layout to scrap lift. I love the pencil lines and the little enamel dots. This is when I was really finding my groove with those enamel dots and putting them on everything. Absolutely everything. And then next up, I may not be a die cutting queen, but I used this chevron punch and then backed it with different types of papers, and then added a few little stars, and again connecting 2 4x6 photos to be one large photo. I hope this gives you some inspiration for either if you're doing a wedding album, or just if you want to kind of try some new layouts and things. It can give you some ideas for some new compositions and designs to do on your pages. This one's very, very simple. Mr. and Mrs. Giggles. I think I was trying to use up different types of thickers. There's no embellishments on here except for a couple of tiny word stickers and a couple of hearts. Very clean and simple. And you will notice there's not much journaling on here as well, so I think I might go back and add a little bit of journaling too. This is one of my first photos because it's printed differently than the other ones. This is, sorry, not photos, one of my first layouts. It's printed very differently than the other photos. It's not great quality, but we're just going to roll with it. Again, adding those thickers, and it is nice to have some repeated things throughout your albums, like the gold thickers and the gold Heidi Shine, and I've got lots of wooden little hearts and enamel dots in this album in particular. So there's a closer look at that one. And then on this side, it's not a double page, but it does kind of, the colors do kind of go together. And this is probably the closest that I came to a pattern paper background for a while. And I know it's not pattern paper, but by doing the modelling paste in the background with, I think it was probably modelling paste and gelato, it does kind of mimic a pattern paper background. And then I just did some layers. This wonder, I still have some of these words, and this is the type of thing that I really want to use up. I did a process video. Which one is it? It's the, I think it's the Scrappy Girls on Tour on YouTube. And I set a new challenge called the Inkie 5, which is where you get 5 of one type of thing. So like 5 alphas, 5 stamps, 5 puffy stickers, 5 of something, and put them on your desk and try and use them up. And when I do 5 word stickers, like thicker stickers, definitely going to try and kill those guys off because they've been here for a while. And I love this one. I really love the hint of pink, which is a bit unexpected. You can't really see it on camera, but you can in person. And I was quite obsessed with doing this big chunky sideways embellishing, and I have actually backed this layout on some kind of chipboardy cardstock because it warped so badly. So this is the American Crafts cardstock, and it did not like mixed media. But look at these chunky things that I've got on here. I wish you could feel how heavy this page is. It's crazy. So there's that one, and then here. So this is not a color scheme that I would probably reach for today. It's lots of red and lots of black, and it's a little confusing to read the title, but it's done, and I'm definitely never going to redo it. But it was bold, and I think I was trying to use up some pattern paper that I had bought and I'd been hoarding onto. So there's that one, and then this one is another very bold kind of for me. Some DIY little flares, and then this Seriously in Love as well, those same giant thickers. And then I think I had just bought some cheap black stickers. I think they were from Spotlight. They might have been, it starts with F, Frenchville, I think. They're like cheapy brand, and I was trying to use them on everything. So again, just using 2 4x6 photos together. And then this one was another little bit of a crazy explosion. So you can see where I used to do, like how I used to embellishment in giant strips. It was a very strippy embellishment type album, this one, whereas now I'm more into the clusters, and I'll do a little cluster here and a cluster there rather than a big long strip. Not to say that this is wrong, it's just where I've kind of moved to, I guess, and I might move back here tomorrow, who knows. I know I wanted to use these big thickers up as well, and then I just did some map papers, and I have a label here that has nothing on it. I don't know why I have that label there, but it's there. A little bit of the, oh hang on, we've lost the light again. Okay, I have to find that setting tonight on the camera. This one is another pocket page, and I just did kind of a filler card with this little bow here, as well as a few overlays, because or transparencies, whatever you may call them. I was really trying to use them up because there's something that definitely sits around in my stash just doing nothing. So I was trying to use them as much as possible. This one, I put it in the pocket before the Hardy Shine dried, so there's Hardy Shine all over the pocket. This was a sticker, and then just a couple of photos and just a little cluster down here. Pretty sure this one doesn't have a video, but I know I did it in a layout share because it was a hip kit one, because that's the reason why I used yellow. And I think that's some of the positive of getting a scrapbook subscription, is that you are challenged to sometimes use colors or products that you wouldn't normally use. and I do miss that. I think I'm going to subscribe to the Citrus Twist scrapbook kit as well, because I get their pocket page kit, which I love, but it'd be nice to get some big papers as well. And then this was a cut apart, I think. Give you a little bit of a look. My goodness, it's getting windy out there. I think we might have a storm this evening. This one did have a process video, and then I lost half of it. I don't know if I ever uploaded it, but I was just playing with frames, and it was a double page layout. I may have uploaded it and just cut out the part that I was missing, possibly. I'm not quite sure, but I was really trying to use some frames up. And this is where you can see the starting to do some little clusters of embellishments rather than the big strips. So I just did the two facing that way, and then the two photos facing this way. Wow, brightness. And that's it for this album. The back is just plain. It's probably something that I should put a nice paper on the back, or not. It doesn't really matter. Let me just move this over a bit. I'll give you a quick flip through. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'm really sorry about the lighting for this video. It's just the time of day that I'm filming. It's the afternoon and the sun is playing havoc on my camera, and my camera is picking up on the different lighting as well. But I hope you enjoyed it, and I think I have a couple of videos coming up on YouTube of doing some pocket page layouts in my wedding album, but you guys would have already seen the pages probably in the wedding album flip number 3. But I'm really enjoying going back. So here's my challenge for you. A bit of a challenge this week. Go back and choose one project to flip through that you've done before. So it could be an art journal one, it could be a scrapbook album, it could be Project Life, it could be a sketchbook that you used to draw in, anything, and see if you can get some inspiration from it, and let me know in the comments what you found. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks again for watching, and we will finish the epicness, weddingness in the next 2 months. Alright guys, see you then. Bye!